Hello, I'm Amy Stokes. Welcome to Session 6, The Stages of Adolescence, What is a Mentor's Role, and Mentor Do's and Don'ts. Now, new mentors are often asking us, how will I know what to say, especially to a child? Not only are they 8,000 miles away, but they're growing up in a culture that is very different from our own. And I can confidently say to you, as the mother of 2 teens myself, that teens are teens, are teens, are teens, are teens, that they are more alike because they are teens than they are different because they're growing up in a different place. Here are a couple of examples. For starters, they all listen to music too loud and often a kind of music that just makes me want to cover my ears. They're all worried about what that person that they might be interested in might think about them. They're all struggling with peer pressure, and they all don't know what they don't know. So don't worry. If you're struggling with how to respond to an issue or a problem that your net buddy brings you, you've got the whole team, the whole Infinite Family team to back you up, to give you support, and we'll tell you how to answer questions like that in the next training. But in the meantime, just know that in addition to whatever words of encouragement or suggestions you might have, just by being there to listen to this young person as they think things through and solve problems with you and by themselves kind of out loud, that is a huge gift. Your presence is something they can't find anywhere else, someone who's just focused on them. So just by being there, you're already doing half the job. So now let's hear from the South African team and hear what it's like to grow up in South Africa.
Children growing up in African cultures are taught different cultural expectations than children growing up in the United States or other cultures. For example, in Africa, it is a sign of respect to address an elder without looking them directly in the eyes, whereas in the United States, this will be interpreted as a sign of disengagement, disrespect, or that the child was hesitant to tell the truth. In Africa, children are taught not to ask too many questions so as not to challenge an elder's status or wisdom, where Western cultures emphasize asking questions as a way to take the initiative and improve their learning experience. They are taught that an adult will tell them what is expected and they should adhere directly. African children rarely speak back or stand up to an elder or a superior, as this is considered disrespectful. Western children are taught that everything is a negotiation and they should constantly push for a result they like better. African children may also be shy about speaking and will often let the adult dominate and lead the discussion. This means that Infinite Family mentors need to acknowledge this cultural difference and gently draw the youngsters out of their shell. Okay. African children are taught to subdue their emotions and opinions and that privacy is to be accorded top priority. Western cultures tend to teach children to value openness and express their opinions. As a result, African teens must often be taught that it is okay to advocate for themselves if done in a respectful and appropriate way. So yes, there are different norms that African children are taught for how to carry themselves in their communities. It is important for our mentors to respect this. At the end of the day, these young people must exist in their communities, respecting the cultural norms and values of their communities. But I think you will be pleasantly surprised to find that at the core, teens are very similar no matter where they grow up. They all want to listen to the latest new music, often in styles and blaring so loud that it makes adults nearby cringe. Most love sports, especially soccer. All are creative in finding ways to play, like making a soccer ball out of a discarded plastic bags or a Chinese jump rope out of an old nylon. They all struggle with peer pressure and fears of insecurities, and all like to be noticed and appreciated. Now, let's hear from the South African team on the unique challenges facing many of Africa's teens and the special roles that video mentors play in their lives.
Net buddies often stay with Infinite Family for years. We like to start mentoring teens at age 12 and accompany them until their early 20s. As many have had to drop out of school at different periods or repeat grades, African teens can graduate from grade 12 at a range of ages from 17 until 22. While it is common among them that they come from difficult and sometimes disrupted backgrounds, they each start at different levels of development and with different sets of needs. As young people grow from dependent children to being independent adults, they need room to experience trying out different identities and go through the different phases of adolescence. Understanding the following stages of development is helpful for mentors to work better with young people, or at least understand why and how they do things in a certain way from time to time. These are some of the things that characterize young people between 11 and 14 age group. They are experiencing many changes and are often bewildered by their changing self-image. They can be insecure and confused, and so they need support and acceptance. They often experience mood swings, joy, misery, tiredness, energetic, and withdrawal or assertiveness. In part, this is due to natural hormone surges and the physical development that takes place during this confusing period. And they are beginning to show interest in the opposite sex. Middle teens between ages 14 and 17 are fully in the confusing throes of trying to work out who they are. They can be restless, changeable, and quickly bored. Their growth can be uncoordinated and uneven, causing them to feel awkward and self-conscious. This is where they start to loosen ties with their family, seeking affirmation from their peers instead. They have a strong need to be accepted by their peers and be part of a group. Peers are important as they confirm their identity. They become aware of sexual feelings and need to deal with them and seek out contact with the opposite sex. Middle teens yearn for freedom to develop in their own way and sometimes act in rebellious ways to assert their independence and test adults' authority. They can be critical and argumentative, showing bravado and a need to experiment. Almost adults, but not quite, young people between 17 and 20 years are often trying to establish their own independence and prove who they are by challenging their parents and separating from them. They seek the companionship of peers with shared interests and start to form one-on-one close relationships with growing intimacy. They are forming their own social, religious, and political values, as well as their individual views on altruistic issues. Finding their voices, older teens can be very passionate about issues they believe their parents' generation has not dealt with properly. At this stage, they start to integrate their learning and experience into their own unique personality and begin to take on more mature roles, such as making career choices. As a mentor, you can help young people through this process. You can encourage them to explore different roles and identities, show them to practice being an autonomous person, make sure they are part of a positive peer group, and give them an example of a set of good values that they will wish to copy as they choose who they will be as an adult. Let's hear directly from Infinite Families teens on what they want and need from their video mentors.
What we want is someone who listens. Have it when I feel that I matter to you. Challenge me to do my best.
Take us seriously. Don't judge. I want your respect and for you to accept me for me.
I want you to try and understand my perspective. I want to see if you can follow your own advice. I want you to care.
I want to be able to trust you. I want you to be open and honest with me. I want you to tell me when you think I am making a mistake or heading down a wrong path.
I want you to introduce me to new things without needing you to be our nanny. You don't have to be able to fix all of our problems. You are not responsible for the decisions I make.
We don't want your money. You don't need to act like my therapist.
The young person you are mentoring may talk to you about difficult issues such as trauma that they have been through or a difficult problem that they are facing. It's important to remember that you can listen, offer encouragement and guidance, but should not solve the problem for them. You can help them understand that you are expected to consult Infinite Family staff about serious issues so that they can arrange for the young person to get help. Communication experts have identified 4 primary and critical listening skills. Let's watch the Infinite Family Alumni NetBuddies show us some examples.
It really bothered me today that my friends didn't wait for me to walk home from school yesterday. And then today they acted like nothing happened.
Do you usually walk home together? It's never nice to be left behind, even if it was not intentional. It sounds like they didn't know that they had upset you.
But how could they not know?
How could they not know that they had upset you by their walking home without you? Was there something different in your routine yesterday that they didn't know about?
Well, yes. My maths teacher asked me to stay late and get some extra help from her.
Did you ask your friends and they agreed to wait but didn't?
No, I didn't have a chance to find them first.
Well, if you didn't have a chance, maybe they just thought you wanted time to yourself.
Yeah, maybe. I'll ask them this afternoon.
That's a great idea. I think you might have had a misunderstanding. It will make you feel better to clear it up with your friends later today. It makes me so angry, furious, that my maths teacher won't explain what he is trying to teach us.
Why don't you give me an example?
Well, like today, we were learning to divide fractions. I just didn't get it. I mean, it is so confusing because he flipped one of the fractions over without explaining why he did that. And I didn't understand how he turned them into decimals last week either. I just wish he would slow down. It is just so frustrating how he ignores how confused some of us are. I'll ask my friend Paul if he understood the lesson. Maybe he can explain in a way that will make sense.
That's a good idea. I am really worried about my friend, Sia. He's been acting very strangely around me lately, and I've seen him talking to some of the learners who always skip class. Yes, if I confront him, he will get mad. But if I don't, I'm afraid he will start to skip class with them, and he can't lose any points and keeps his marks up.
Oh, I see.
He'll say it's none of my business, but I really don't want him to ruin his chances of doing well on his matric exams.
Yes, that's tricky for sure. Things are uncomfortable where I stay.
Do you want to talk about it?
Well, it's really hard.
It's okay. I'm your friend. I'll help you think it through.
Okay. There's this guy that's always hanging around where I stay. He dropped out of school and they're saying he's doing things he shouldn't be doing.
Tell me more.
Well, he's always there when I'm coming home from school and keeps trying to get in my way when I'm trying to do my chores. He wants me to go out have some fun with him. It would be nice to do something fun, but I'm a little scared of him.
You are scared of him. Why do you think this way?
Well, I guess it's because he's so aggressive and he acts so tough. Also, I don't think he has a job, but he seems to have a lot of money. That makes me think that he's doing or is involved in something that's not right.
It does sound like you're paying attention to a lot of the right cues about this guy. I think I'll be worried too. Do you want to talk through some way you can stay safe?
As you saw in the scenarios above, one of the most important skills in being an effective mentor is listening. Most likely, your NetBuddies will not have someone that they can share their situations or challenges with that they believe will keep this information private and confidential. Secondly, very few, if any, of their friends or adults in their lives will have the time or attention to focus exclusively on helping your NetBuddy think through and take charge of solving their own problems. It is a huge gift for you to spend 30 minutes a week to share your NetBuddy's life and help them develop the skills they need to successfully navigate the tricky or difficult situations. These are skills that will benefit them for the rest of their lives. They won't know how critical this will be, so please let us say thank you on their behalf right now. Now, here are a few general do's and don'ts to help your mentoring relationship run smoothly. Do make general conversation. South Africa's teens are not accustomed to being the center of attention. They are also not used to seeing people who don't know each other that well use icebreakers like talking about sports or world events to start a conversation. Talking about general topics with your NetBuddies will allow them to become comfortable with you and not feel so put on the spot. Asking each time about the health of their family and friends is a courteous way to open a conversation. Sharing events in the news will also open up their perspective to the wider world, which will be very, very important as they join a culturally diverse workforce. Do have fun together. You can do activities together that look like fun to both of you. Do give your NetBuddy the opportunity to suggest things to do together online that appeal to him or her. Remember that play is an essential part of the healing and development process for all young people, no matter where they grow up. Once you see the video conversation room, you will see how you can play games together like hangman, tic-tac-toe, dots and lines, and other problem-solving activities. You can find fun things to share via the internet. Not every conversation should be serious or profound. Remember, everyone loves and needs to laugh. Laughter is also an essential, important part of building a relationship that will allow you to be a major influence in their lives later on. So go ahead, have fun. Do share your life with a child. You can tell your NetBuddy things about your life that would be interesting to them. Examples would be how you shop for food, how you travel for work, what you did over the weekend, what's it like to walk or shovel snow, what you like to do with your family, etc. Sharing unresolved personal concerns about health, work, interpersonal relations, or finances would be inappropriate to share with the teens. However, reflecting on past experiences that connect with the teens' current struggles can be helpful, as long as the focus remains on the young person's needs and not your own. It is also helpful to let your NetBuddy know that you too have struggled at different points in your life. Believe it or not, many of our NetBuddies believe that everyone who has built a successful life just knows the secrets how to get there. They don't realize that we all had to figure it out for ourselves also. That we try, fail, and try again. As Nelson Mandela said, "Do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again." We all spend our lives learning, and it's good to share this with your NetBuddy. Do ask questions about things that you don't understand. If a word or phrase is odd, or you can't understand something that is being explained to you, or if there's something that just arouses your curiosity, don't be afraid to ask. Laughing at yourself and stumbling through small understandings helps build a relationship with your NetBuddy. One amusing thing about getting to know your NetBuddy will be hearing how British English, which is what they learn in school, is often different from English learned in other parts of the world. In addition, because South Africa has 11 official languages, you will often hear South Africans use words from 2 or 3 languages in the same sentence. Don't be afraid to ask for clarification. It will help your NetBuddy be more comfortable asking you about things they don't understand as well. Do not eat or drink on camera. Eating in public without sharing is considered inappropriate, especially in this circumstance. In addition, many of our net buddies will not have access to 3 meals plus snacks each day. Therefore, it would be very insensitive to snack, drink, or prepare food while online with your net buddy. Do not whisper. Whispering is associated with saying mean things about other people. Among our net buddies, it is also a sign of being very shy. Speak confidently and help your net buddy also learn to do so. Do not be a therapist. Mentors are intended to be helpful adults who accompany the children on their journey to independence and maturity. Our role is to support them emotionally, give them encouragement, nurture their dreams, and be a consistent adult presence in their lives. We should not take the role of psychotherapy practitioners and try to solve therapeutic issues or situations that require additional expertise. Infinite Family's youth host partners are responsible for these roles, either in-house or through referrals to other resources within their communities. Your role is to bring to our attention when a net buddy needs additional help and be a constant positive influence in their lives as they work through their difficult situations. Do not talk about AIDS when discussing death. Talking about AIDS in relation to death might be interpreted as wishing the illness on the listener. Furthermore, HIV and AIDS still carries negative stigma in many African communities. It is much better not to ask about the cause of death, but simply try to help your net buddy work through the questions that they may be asking themselves as a result of their loss. For example, was it my fault? Will I get sick too? And what will happen to me? Don't give money or gifts. As a mentor, you are contributing to the children's welfare through your time and any other resources that you might give through Infinite Family. Our youth host partners are ensuring that the children's physical needs are being met, even though their resources are often limited. While children are made aware that asking for gifts from mentors is not acceptable, video mentors can expect such requests from time to time. Decline with kindness and remind your net buddy that it is against the rules of Infinite Family. If you need any assistance in dealing with repeated requests for financial or material support, please bring this to the attention of the Infinite Family staff.
I'm Amy Stokes, founder and CEO of Infinite Family, and I'm here today with
Zoleka Petre, the South African Program Director.
We are so excited to be here with you today. We're here to give you a virtual tour of our newest double-decker launchpad video mentoring computer lab. We're here in Gugulethu Township, Cape Town, on the site of our youth host Ikamba Labantu, and we want to thank BT Communication Services South Africa, European School Munich, and the ETWA organizations of the European patent offices in Munich and The Hague. Let's go inside.
The first floor here has 15 workstations for 15 laptops where the net buddies can do their homework. They can also get information on university programs and research careers. They can also send emails to their mentors or just find information on day-to-day events in South Africa and get that information to share with their mentors during video conferences. They can also send emails as well as communicate with other net buddies on the platform.
There are 7 in this launchpad, and this is where our NetBuddy mentees come, sit down, log on, and they'll be face-to-face with a mentor somewhere else in the world.
They could be talking to Munich, New York, London, anywhere.
Stay tuned. The electricity was installed last week, internet connectivity is next, and soon we'll be connecting Google Ages teens with video mentors around the world. From the bottom of our hearts to our donors and our video mentors, we thank you for the future success
and self-reliance of South Africa's teens and young adults.
Infinite Family's mentoring model is focused on helping all of our NetBuddies become self-reliant and successful adults. Along the way, you'll help them learn how to create their own opportunities and how to strengthen their inner characteristics of resilience, resourcefulness, and responsibility. Now, they have to learn how to make decisions within the communities and the families and the workplaces that they're in, so we have to learn how to do that and take into account the values of all of those different people in those areas. And then the skills you will help them build fall into 5 areas: academic preparation, technology literacy, career preparation, communications, and life skills. We often use a 5-point star to help us remember these 5 areas: education, career preparation, life skills, communications, and technology literacy. Now, we use the 5-point star to help us remember that we have 1 head to make decisions and 2 hands and 2 feet to take action. Now, your NetBuddies will all sign the NetBuddy Pledge. What this pledge helps us do is focus your NetBuddies on investing in themselves now, and by doing so, they can earn credit for Infinite Family to help them pay for their college applications and registration fees. What we often find is that our NetBuddies do well on their 12th grade exams, but they didn't have the funds to apply to college or to do that first-year registration fees. By making decisions and taking action in these 5 areas, and they include building their mentorship network, that includes you coming to VCs, writing emails and blogs and improving their English, by staying in school, by choosing their future, that means making good decisions, not caving to peer pressure to make bad decisions, and not doing things that limit their future opportunities. By working on the Steps to Self-Reliance curricula, and by doing well on their matric. They can earn points every month on different performance indicators in these 5 areas. Every month they'll see those points on a report card, which you can help them with in the Ezemdeni Net, and every month if they're falling a little behind, you can help remind them the different things they can do to earn more points. And if they earn enough points every quarter, that's when they earn the credit towards their college and their future. So I hope you can see that as video mentors and as having a touch point once a week with our NetBuddies, you are a critical piece of this motivational team. By sharing your own examples with them, you'll help them learn how to deal with setbacks. By setting goals, you'll help them learn how to work towards achieving those goals. You are a critical piece to helping all of these young people learn how to take charge of their future and build a better future.
Our mentors and mentees meet face-to-face for 30 minutes once a week for their video conversations. that we call VCs, except for school holidays and public holidays. This means that video mentoring takes place about 32 to 35 weeks each year. Your VC is the same day and same time every week, unless the mentor or the mentee needs to reschedule because of a scheduling conflict related to work, personal, or school circumstances. Your NetBuddy's life is often unpredictable and chaotic. Maintaining a steady VC schedule is important for them to learn lessons like how to be on time and plan ahead. Rescheduling a VC once in a while is okay, but it shouldn't become a regular event. As you may remember from the beginning of this session, each video mentoring computer lab is connected to an Infinite Family staff member known as the Mentoring Support Coordinator, through whom all communication between Video Mentor and NetBuddy should be coordinated. Details about how to contact your Mentoring Support Coordinator will be provided when you are matched with your NetBuddy after the final live training session. We also have interactive curricula called Steps to Self-Reliance that will be available with the same login you use for the EasyNet. These modules are guided interactive sessions that you can use with your NetBuddies related to the 5 core areas mentioned at the beginning of the training, that is career preparation, communication, education, life skills, and technology literacy. The curriculum can be used in different orders of completion depending on where the mentee is and what their needs are at any given point in time.
At Infinite Family, it's very important to us to stay in touch with all of our mentors and NetBuddies so that we can continue providing the best and most rewarding mentoring relationship that we can for you, our video mentors, and so that we're making sure that our NetBuddies are on track, building skills, and moving towards becoming the self-reliant adults that we want them to be. We gather data in 5 different ways, and we call this group of activities monitoring and evaluation. We use the information we get in 3 ways. First and foremost, again, to track the progress of our NetBuddies towards becoming the adults that we can't wait for them to be. Second, we want to be accountable and transparent to you, our video mentors, but also to our financial sponsors and our in-kind partners. And 3, we want to keep learning and getting better. So the more we know about what's happening, the more we can come up with new ideas to make things better. And if there are new information or resources or other kinds of support that you need, we want to know about that too. Now, I said we gather data in 5 ways. The first is that every week you will get a very short questionnaire after your VC, just so we can gauge how it went from your perspective. Our NetFundis every week are also gathering data on, I think, 20 or 25 different data points on every single VC so that we can see what trends are out there and try and minimize any problems that might be starting to arise. On a monthly basis, we're looking at your NetBuddies report card. Remember, they've signed the pledge so that they're going to invest in themselves and earn credit towards college application and registration fees. And in that way, we evaluate them and the activities that they do every month, and then on a quarterly basis is when they earn those credits. On a quarterly basis also, while those credits are being posted, our mentoring support coordinators are trying to reach all of you and speak with you for 5 to 10 minutes or share a detailed email exchange so that we can see how your NetBuddies are doing from your perspective, how you really think they're doing, and what we can do to help you help them. So these calls and check-ins are very important, and if you can help us do that, you will really help us improve the experience all around, both for you and your NetBuddy. And then on an annual basis, your NetBuddy takes a survey, an evaluative survey called the Impact Tracker. There's no right or wrong answer, but it does help us measure how they're changing the way they think about different situations that they might find themselves in. As you can see, once again, you are a critical piece of this team, and your feedback is really the primary source of how we know both what's going right and what's going wrong. So thank you very much for helping us. Thank you in advance, and we look forward to working with you and getting your feedback. Thank you.
A video mentoring relationship is meant to provide a wonderful and rewarding experience for both the NetBuddy and the video mentor. We ask our video mentors for a 1-year, 30-minute per week commitment, which really amounts to 32 to 35 weeks per year. However, when this time expires, the mentoring relationship can continue. It is also true that sometimes circumstances can come up that make it necessary to end a relationship before the 1-year period. Therefore, some relationships last longer than 1 year and others last less. For video mentors and NetBuddies, there are many reasons for transitioning a relationship. For example, your 1-year commitment to being a video mentor has come to an end and other commitments prevent you from continuing. Life events can change your availability as a video mentor. For example, having a baby, moving to a new place, job or job schedule changes, etc. You and your NetBuddy haven't really connected or haven't really gotten along. That is, your match is not a good fit, and all possible options have been explored to try and make it work. This might also be due to changes in your NetBuddy's life. For example, completion of high school and moving to another area for tertiary education or a job, or the family moving to a different area, or transition into adulthood, etc., and the NetBuddy is unable to continue attending the video conversations. Your NetBuddy may also find it difficult to attend your scheduled video conversations and/or cancels them frequently due to conflicting activities during VC schedule times and is not actively seeking help with rescheduling. Your NetBuddy is less open when communicating with you about his or her life and/or shows lack of interest in further developing your relationship. When you become aware of these signs, please contact your mentoring support coordinator to express your need to consider a transition. Transitioning or terminating a video mentoring relationship should be a positive experience. We view this as an opportunity for your NetBuddy to learn that relationships grow and change over their course. Our primary concern is that the NetBuddies do not experience any additional and unnecessary loss in their lives. Please allow me to say this. Most of your NetBuddies have experienced incredible loss and trauma during their lives. For many, your relationship may have been the first in a long time that they began to trust another adult. It is very important that, as important influences in their lives, we do not create additional trauma, loss, or pain as they strive to develop their own self-confidence and areas of strength. Once you have contacted your mentoring support coordinator, she or he will contact your NetBuddy either directly or through the South African program coordinator to get the NetBuddy's perception of the relationship and, if appropriate, bring up the topic of transitioning the relationship. It is important to note that at times, changes in the NetBuddy's lives are quite abrupt. When we say abrupt, we mean that sometimes the teens disappear without notice, usually over a school holiday. This is often due to an extended family member appearing and deciding, without informing the teen or anyone else around them, that the teen will relocate and live somewhere else. These types of decisions leave South Africa's Infinite Family staff no opportunity to facilitate a closing VC session. We understand that this adversely affects the process of reaching closure, but given the disruption, which is not infrequent in the children's lives, it is an unpleasant reality. Happily, it does not mean that you will never hear from your NetBuddy again. Many teens are quite resourceful and often find a way to reconnect with the Infinite Family team and their video mentors even after an extended absence. Now back to the transition process. When an agreement is reached that transitioning the relationship is the best choice, we will set a date for a final video conversation. We encourage you to think of this as a celebration of your relationship instead of a loss. In this conversation, you can talk about any or all of the following: your experience during your time together, what each of you learned about yourselves and from each other, or how each of you grew as a person, what each of you appreciates about the other person or is grateful for as a result of the relationship. For example, I admire you for, you have a special way of, I really appreciate it when you. Any final advice or message that you want your netbuddy to receive from you, and vice versa. At this time, you can decide if you want to use other means of communication to continue your relationship informally. You are encouraged to stay in touch with your netbuddy, and we will work with you on how this can be done. We understand that relationships are unique in nature, and so are the reasons and nature of transitions. We will therefore work with you and your netbuddy accordingly.
Congratulations, you finished your online Anytime training. Soon, an Infinite Family staff person will reach out to schedule your final live training session. In that session, you'll learn how to use the video conversation or VC room and SharePod, and you can ask any other questions you might have before meeting your netbuddy. In the meantime, please follow us on social media. It's a great place to find out what's going on at Infinite Family and to learn about other netbuddies and mentors from around the world. You can also nominate a friend or a family member to become a video mentor. There will be a link in the survey at the end of this video, and if you nominate someone, we'll send them the video Be the Mentor You Wish You Had and a short description, but we promise not to spam them and will only follow up if they express interest. So once again, congratulations and thank you. Thank you for being willing to share your experience, your expertise, and your time with a teen in South Africa to help them along their journey to become a self-reliant adult. Thank you.
Thank you.